Greetings and welcome. I have been trying to focus on my collection and what I want it to represent. Now, focus isn't my forte, and this video will represent how I can focus on something and then all of a sudden I go down another road. But my collection, in my view, has been lacking soccer cards. I have a few, but nothing I think represents my collection. I really enjoy the game. I watch 1 or 2 Premier League matches a week, and it helps that I have young kids who are up early and the Premier League starts early. I don't know how much I would watch if the game started at 7 o'clock at night. But I love the World Cup, and I usually try to watch all the qualifying World Cup matches for the United States. But mostly I'm a casual follower who just enjoys the game. So originally, I thought I would set out to do 100 cards of the greatest soccer players. Then I thought 100 was kind of extreme, and I don't really like to get cards of players that I don't necessarily care about unless I'm trying to complete a set. So I decided on doing 10 cards. And it may become more than 10, but for now it's 10. And making those 10 of players that I really like or who I think is an important person or player that links my enjoyment to the sport. Then I will research the cards of the 10 that I choose and pursue my favorite card of theirs. Not just rookies or player era cards, just my favorite image. So I started off with this, and I won it off of Robert Edward Auctions, and it's the 1987 Question of Sports, Diego Maradona. I chose this card because it resembles the Maradona I view the most. He has a quote, "To see the ball, to run after it, makes me the happiest man in the world." And this card to me sums up that quote with this picture. He's also wearing the Argentina uniform. The card is an 87, which leads me to believe that the shot is of the 86 World Cup, and that was the year he had the famous Hand of God goal that won the World Cup for Argentina over England. The English media, by the way, try to call it the Hand of the Devil, but that would never stick. But if I'm wrong about the picture of the card, I don't care. I love the image of the card. He was impossible to knock off the ball, and some say he played soccer the way Walter Payton played football. I'm a little young to have much of a memory of Maradona, and nothing really of his prime. I vaguely remember a little of the 94 World Cup. He was, at that point, he was probably a ratio of 1-to-1 cocaine to human flesh. And a plane flew over the stadium with a banner that read Maradona Prima Donna. And Maradona then would just smash a goal in the top corner. He's a big enough name. I'm not going to break down his career, but he was a man of spectacular overindulgence, and his highs were highs, his lows were lows, and his strengths were greater than anybody's, and his weaknesses were greater than anybody's. Now, as happy I am to have this card, it also serves to me as a reminder of how lucky I am. I received the delivery date for when this would be delivered, and as the date approached, the weather forecast showed an increasing likelihood of the potential for tornadoes. Where I'm at, tornado watches and warnings aren't that uncommon. But I go out to the mail, and it had been a very breezy day, and everything was absolutely still. And the air raid sirens start to go off. I'm a weather nerd, and I usually kind of stay out and look at the sky. But with the absolute stillness, I headed to the basement with my wife, kids, and dogs. Also kind of thought it'd be a better example for my kids to take shelter. But we got hit with a pretty good storm, and I lost some shingles, but 10 miles away, a tornado did touch down, and several people, unfortunately, lost their home or had severe damage. Every card has a story, and now when I see this, it's a good reminder of my blessings and not to take the hobby too seriously. But to kind of recap, I am going to keep my soccer collection to 10 cards. Maybe slightly increase, but carve out a nice section to show my enjoyment of the game. And here's where my focus kind of runs off. Then I run across some tobacco cards that were from around the turn of the century. Fortunately for my wallet and my future gold cards, but unfortunately, adding some awesome soccer cards to my collection, I only won one in the auction. But it was the first night of baseball practice with my son's team, and I wasn't able to update my bid, so I just set a bunch of prices and hope for the best. But I ended up winning this. Let's see if I can get that. This 1939 WA and AC Churchmans of Vic Woodley, who was the goalkeeper for Chelsea. From 1931 to 1945. I did, however, miss out on all the early 1900s cards. The image I really liked. I love that he's wearing a flat cap while playing, and just the live action shot of him making a save. And honestly, any card that's before the 50s, before the 40s, before the 30s, I think it's just cool. The older the better. And this does not count as one of my 10 that I want to collect, but just another piece of my collection. And like I said earlier, that every card has a story. I hope this isn't the card that I show that sent me down the pre-war tobacco soccer card collecting road. And it's just a card that I enjoy. I also, however, believe once a set collector, always a set collector. So, you know, in a couple months, maybe I'll start showing you my a whole new set that I'm working on, but we'll see. But hopefully I can get back to trying to focus. But thank you for watching, and enjoy your collection.